Okay, this is Brian Young. Made it through Christmas, and I'm doing a new video on. This is basically for some newbies out there that are just gotten into SCX Digital, and I want to do a video on different styles of the cars. Some people have asked me, how do you digitize a car? So I'm going to do a new video, kind of just a generic video on the NASCARs and the new COT cars and our new body style cars and what has to be done to them to digitize them. So let me just start off. I'm going to do a 10-minute video, so I've got a good 10 minutes. I'm going to cover everything. This is our first generation car, okay? And the way you can tell if it's a first generation car are the struts. You see the three-prong strut system on the car. See how that's extends out. On the first generation cars, this I'm going to show you. This is a NASCAR without the strut. This is an analog NASCAR. I'm sorry, get myself going here. This is an analog NASCAR. You see the bar that goes across, okay? That's your axle, and you notice it doesn't have it on this car. The reason being is that your chip right here, it takes the place. You can't put the chip in if the axle's there. So this is an analog car of the old style, Arrows cars basically. And this could be an old style, just regular, GT car or whatever. You would have to remove the axle like that, so the axle's no good. Now the tires will be, but you can't use the rims, okay? Then you pop the motor mount out. You would then have to remove the circuit, which is this circuit right here, okay? And you just basically pry it from the chassis, okay? You see how that? Then you would have to remove the guide pin, because the guide pin would be no good. And then you'd have to take out the old ARS, because that's an analog ARS. This is what it looks like, okay? That's the old ARS analog, okay? Got that? And then you would replace it with this ARS, which is the item number SCX 70001, 2007 ARS. See the difference here? Put these in my hand. So you can see them. See, one's got a larger hole in it, and that is for the guide pin, okay? For digital. Alright, so we're going to remove that, and then we're going to stick in the new ARS by snapping it in. Get a nice flathead screwdriver to get each side of the prongs on both sides. See how that's in there then? See how it's going to go back and forth? And then you're going to stick your digital guide pin in, the red one. Okay, that's the red one, the red guide pin, 200080, and it's usually a good idea to do it without, because sometimes your ARS will pop out when you're trying to put that in. Okay, so now you have your guide pin in when you're digitizing it. Then you would have to put your struts in, okay, because these are only, and you'd have to buy that from your digitalization kit, which is the older style digitalization kit, okay, which you're going to need the 20240 if you're going to digitize a car. But there's a quicker way of doing it nowadays. We have some bulk Casey Canes and Montoya cars, bulk, they're $15. SCX, these two items here, SCX 3660 and 3690. Look at that, $15, okay? And so these are a great way of getting extra parts, but for only $15 you get a chip, you get a motor mount, rear axle, extra. Buy as many as you want and just tear them all apart, and then you got a parts kit, okay? Now, here's what some guys are doing, okay? I want to go over this. Some guys are taking Okay, this is an Arrows car, okay? So this is an older style car, and they're taking the current NASCAR, and they're just taking their tires and clicking them in here like this. That won't work, okay? The tire doesn't move, okay? So you can't do that, all right? You have to have the strut, all right, so the tire is placed far enough away that it will run smoothly, okay? All right. Now another thing some people are doing is, now this is a new COT car, but this is an analog. This is the analog circuit. Some people are just taking the circuit out, like I showed them, just taking this out. For example, you have to take the whole unit out. This is the whole unit. See the plastic part? Some people are just taking this off, the metal, okay? Let me get this metal off here. And when you know it, these solder joints, and they're keeping this piece in the car, okay? So look, I'm putting that back in, put it back in, okay? So that's what they're doing. They're leaving that in there, okay? Well, if you try to put the chip over top of that, it doesn't fit. It won't snap in, okay? So you have to make sure that you take the entire plastic unit and the analog circuit off as one unit. And try not to rip it off like I just did, because you can use that analog circuit again. You can put it back in your car, okay? All right, so that's a couple things, all right? Another thing is the ARSs, okay? I just found that there's another ARS. Okay, so we have the first ARS, which was in our first style cars, okay? And that's this one right here in our Aero. See how it, you see the ARS, okay? Very big with the big long spring across. The second ARS, okay, is in our COT cars and in most, let's see, the Porsche 911. You see how it's more of a half circle, okay? And it goes back and forth, okay? You see how the little nipples on each side are a little bit pronged up, okay? Well, now there's the third ARS, and I haven't gotten these in yet, so don't ask for them yet. You see how the nipples are longer? All right? These are in the Aston Martin, the Ferrari FXXs, the Morgans, which you can't digitize, which some guys have, okay? So I'll have an item number for these later, but these are ARSs for the, this is the Ferrari 599 car, and then we also have an Aston Martin vintage, the new one with the alligator on it. That is also has this style of ARS on it, okay? So there are 3 ARSs now that you guys have to be worried about. Now, I'm supposed to be getting a shipment of these, which are version 2, which is 70020. I'm supposed to be getting some more of those in here hopefully soon. I have plenty of the 70001, which are the original ARSs. Okay, so you'll be able to order those whenever you want to, okay? But the thing to remember is, and I went over this, a lot of new people into this hobby, first thing to do is dissect the car. Do what I just did. See I just got this car down to nothing, and then one piece at a time, okay, you just put the chip back in, making sure that it clips in, okay, on those clips. See those clips right there? Right here and right there, making sure they clip in, all right? And then you snap the motor in, and remember everybody, see, look at this one here. I'm going to put this in. Oh, look, watch. What's wrong with that? Look at that. You see where the metal prong, not even touching the circuit. That car will never run. Okay, so we want to bend those prongs, or we call them chicken legs, remember, everybody? I know you just love that, so that's why I do it. Okay, so you want to make sure the prongs are touching, okay, like that. There we go. See how we got good contact with both the prongs? Okay, look at that, 9 minutes already. Man, I can talk a long time. There and there. So that's basically some more tips and information about your digital cars, different components. Don't forget to order some of the Montoyas and Casey King cars are only $15 a piece for a digital car. These are great for parts, okay? Get as many of them as you can, okay? I mean, it's a steal at that price, okay? Because you get the chip, the motor. Heck, you could just stock up on motors that way and chips, okay? So get them on as long as they last, and when they're gone, they're gone. Okay, I got to be done. Bye.